The captain of the yard, Warrington, wasn't he a classmate of yours?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, well, now, you've seen the damage reports on the Yorktown after she got smashed up in the Coral Sea.
Yeah?
What do you think? Can that classmate of yours put her back to sea in 72 hours? Because he's going to have to. Lord Nimitz has ordered it.
Well, if anyone can, Harry can. But it's bound to be one hell of a patch job.
I'm afraid so. About 3 carriers instead of 2 will increase our striking force by 50%, which we'll soon need.
Reinforcements.
You're looking pretty handsome there, sport.
Thank you. Oh, hey. Want a beer?
No.
So, Astor's got command now. That's right. There's no more lady. It's Captain Sir.
I don't like him.
Why not?
Oh, because he thinks he's God's gift to women. Wait, he goes around grinning like Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera, that's good. I'm going to tell him you said that.
Don't you dare.
It's time for a little Vic snack. Come on, baby.
Oh, you got him spoiled now.
Come on.
Daddy kiss.
Come
on. So.
Look alive, guys. Dad and Admiral Spruance are rounding the Smith's Terrace. Full steam.
Spruance? Yeah, when they make port, they usually hike up here together. Oh, come on. From the base, it's got to be 5 miles, right? And you know what he does? What? He has a glass of water, then he hikes right back down again. You got to be kidding me. Guess he likes the exercise.
How's your word, gentlemen?
Byron. Hey.
Hey, Dad.
This is my submariner, Admiral. Haven't seen him since Thanksgiving.
Byron?
Admiral?
Warren?
Admiral?
Good to see you.
Nice cool glass of water, sir.
Well, thank you, Janice. You're a gracious hostess. My son's a submariner also. He's out on the Tambor now. How's your hunting been?
2 confirmed sinkings through 11,000 tons.
Congratulations. You're ahead of the Tambor. Well, thank you, Janice. I'll have to be getting back down the hill now.
Well, I'm sure Byron or Warren can give you a lift, sir.
Oh, no, that won't be necessary. Henry? Boys? Good luck.
Thanks, sir.
Henry? It's good both of your boys are in port at the same time. I hope you'll spend all the time you can with them.
I intend to, sir. But I've got a lot to do on my ship.
I got something to tell you. This is for your information only. The Japanese are heading east. They're going to hit Midway Island. Obviously, a Japanese base 1,000 miles from Hawaii is unacceptable. So Nimitz is sending everything we have up there. We're about to fight the biggest battle of the war.
Intelligence is that certain.
We've penetrated the Jap codes. Now, we'll be vastly outnumbered. But we may be able to achieve surprise. And one other thing. I don't know if you know this or not, but Bill Halsey is in Sinkback Hospital. It's nothing serious, but he won't be able to fight this battle. And he's recommended to Admiral Nimitz that I assume command of Task Force 16.
I'm sorry to hear about Halsey, sir, but congratulations, Admiral.
Thanks. And Henry, well, as I say, spend some time with your sons while you can.
I will, sir.
You're a little jumpy today. Okay, you know what I mean? We're sweet.
You know, right there. Come on.
missed. You're jumping. Come on. Oh, you committed right there.
No, I
right
didn't.
there.
Come on.
You missed. You're jumping. Come on.
Hey, is there any of that beer left, or have you two problem drinkers soaked it all up?
Hey, Dad, I got great news. Natalie's coming home. They're on a boat from Lisbon with a bunch of other American attorneys.
That's wonderful news, Brandon.
Yeah, I got a cable from Jan's dad. I'm still trying to get through the State Department to confirm it. But now, Warren thinks I shouldn't take my transfer to Sublamp because he says all the glory's in the Pacific, right?
Never mentioned glory. I don't give a damn about glory.
Oh, yeah, right.
What I said was the subs are carrying the fight in this war. It's a chance of a lifetime to take a hand in history.
What else is glory?
What do you think, Dad?
I think you ought to take your transfer and go, Brandy. This Pacific War is going to last a long time. You'll have plenty of time to get all the history you can handle. You've never seen your son. What are you grinning about?
I don't know. He surprised me, that's all.
Well, I think this calls for a celebration. Natalie coming home? When was the last time we all got together? Your wedding, right?
Right.
That's right.
I think we should have an anniversary party.
Sounds great.
I'm for a champagne dinner tomorrow night at the Moana Hotel. Who's with me?
Hey, I'm in. Janice will love it, Dad.
Dad! Phone for you. And guess who? Alistair Tudsbury. He's calling from the Moana right here in Hawaii.
Henry, by Jove! Ha ha! Native London, Berlin, and Moscow. How are you? Well, Yank, you're in with us now. Up to your neck. Into the death.
That we are.
And none too soon. None too soon. Ha ha! You remember my daughter, Pamela? Or had you forgotten her?
Nice to see you again, Pamela.
Hello there.
I'd like you to meet my son, Lieutenant Byron Henry. Alistair Tudsbury.
How do you do, sir?
This is Pamela Tudsbury.
Pamela?
Back, Henry. All alone? With the troubles of the world on your manly fizz?
Hello, Talkie. You enjoying your party?
Oh, bloody waste of an afternoon. Is your son's anniversary dinner still laid on for tonight?
Still laid on.
Smashing.
How's your eye?
Oh, trifle irritation. Small scar of battle. I'm hoping to get the patch off when I've checked at your naval hospital this afternoon after I've interviewed Nimitz.
You sure he'll see you?
Oh, these boys are never too busy to talk to me. If I'd been at Waterloo, you know, Napoleon would have talked to me on horseback when he was fleeing the field, no matter how much his piles were hurting him.
I've just been thinking about Napoleon. The ball in Brussels before the battle.
Yes, but at the moment, at least, one doesn't hear the thunder of approaching cannon. Or does one?
Not that I know of.
Like, something's brewing up on this island, something tremendous. Tell me what you know.
Sorry, Tusbury, I can't help you.
How do you think Pam's looking?
Sort of tired.
She's had a rough time of it. We both have. But she'll snap out of it. She's very resilient. Well, I thought I'd better go and drivel a bit more with General Richardson. Terrible stick.
He was a famous trumpet man from my Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was a top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. Here's the boogie woogie bugle boy company B. They made him blow a bugle blow his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand. Because the next day the captain went out and drafted a man. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. Here's the boogie woogie bugle boy company B. Toot, toot, we got a tootie woogity to the bar. Boogie reload.
Oh,
Put it down.
oh, that's lovely. Dad, it's lovely. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, Janice. And what the devil is keeping Byron?
Don't worry about Byron, Dad. You know him. Turn up sooner or later. Let's go, anniversary girl. Tonight's your night.
What time do the festivities close down?
The curfew is at 10:30, and it has teeth in it.
Come to our suite, will you, Victor? Afterwards?
Okay, but just for a minute. We've got a conference later.
Oh, just a sub-land captain. I need your signature.
I thought you were reconsidering,
You said
Brian.
you'd sign them, lady, if that's what I wanted.
Byron.
Dad, they're not on that boat. The Italians detained her and Jasper. She and the baby are still in Siena.
What?
Yeah, I finally got through to the State Department. All the other Americans are on their way home, but not them.
Did State tell you why?
Yeah, some garbage about Italian journalists in Rio. Lady, what are you waiting for? Will you sign them?
This whole thing will straighten itself out. She'll probably be on the next boat.
Lady, sign them.
I think you're making a big mistake.
Just sign them. Dad, I'm flying to San Francisco. I'm going to need a ride to Nats at 21:30.
Small matter of air priority.
I've got my air priority, Class 1. Where do you think I've been?
Byron does these things. He has two gates. The crawl of a snail and the speed of light in a vacuum.
About time you showed up.
Hey, Warren. Borrow your wife for a dance?
Sure. Just bring her back in one piece.
You're going to have to pour me onto that plane. Come on, Jan. Let's show them how it's done.
What's going on?
Signing your brother's orders to subland.
Natalie and the baby have been detained in Italy.
I thought.
That's all I know.
Warren, why don't you pull up a chair? Sit next to the commander. They can talk to me about their most exciting exploits. There's nothing the folks at home like better than to hear about young American heroes. That's right. Now, boys, what's it feel like on the bottom when you're submerged and the depth charges are coming at you?
Well, Mr. Tudsbury, I haven't had the thrill yet. Commander Astor could give you a better rundown on that.
Yes, I imagine so. I'm sure SPP dive bombers haven't yet figured out how to attack underwater. Let's hear it all, Commander. Then, Warren, you can tell me your exploits. What's been the most exciting underwater experience?
Did you by any chance get a letter that I sent from here months ago?
No, I've never had a letter from you.
I got one from you.
Oh, did that actually reach you? Written in another epoch, wasn't it?
I was very glad to get it.
How's your wife?
She's asked me for a divorce.
Could she? You haven't given her any cause.
She claims to have fallen in love with someone else.
Ghastly for you.
And just when we were getting
Well, she's since expressed some regret about it. More or less. It's sort of all up in the air.
What did you do?
Do your sons know?
Yeah.
I was sorry to hear you lost your battleship.
How long will you and your father be staying in Honolulu?
I'm not sure.
Hey, everybody, we're running out of time. Let's crack that champagne. Never mind, I'll do it. Dad, this is your show. How's for the first toast, huh?
Okay.
Lady?
Let's all raise our glasses. Janice, to you. Many happy returns. Warren, happy hunting.
To Mom. You're here. And Madeline.
And to Natalie and her baby and their safe return.
She's not on the boat.
Oh, Byron, I'm so sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about. They're gonna be just fine. Cheers.
No one will ever know, Victor, how much I owe to this girl. For the last 6 months, I've dragged her through fire and water. She's never faltered, never complained. Pamela, get me a brandy, will you? Now, Victor, I'm going to ask you again. What is happening on this island? What major military operation is planned? Damn it, Victor, I'm a friend of yours. I'm a friend of your country's.
Talkie, go to bed.
I beg your pardon?
You've had a very long day. Now go to bed.
I want to talk to Victor.
So do I.
You're very hard on me, Pamela. Very hard.
Go to bed. You know perfectly well Victor isn't going to tell you anything.
I suppose you're right. Very well. Good night, Victor.
Good night, Talkie.
Pamela, pleasant dreams.
He's such a small boy. We can talk in my room. Not as luxurious as Talkie's suite, I'm afraid, but then I wasn't expecting to entertain.
This is a big surprise.
Why, I made my feelings clear in Moscow.
I thought it was all over the way you were acting.
Victor, your sons were right there.
I thought you liked young Astor.
He was handy. I had to do something to take my eyes off you. Now, what's this about a conference tonight?
I have to leave in a few minutes.
What? Well, can we see each other tomorrow?
Pam, the fleet sails in the morning.
No! There's never time, is there? Never! I should have looked you up the instant we arrived, but I wasn't sure what you felt. It's been 6 months. What was in that letter you sent me?
I was ending it, giving you up.
Look, I'm here, and if you want me to stay, I will. I want to. I love you. To me, you're life itself. And if you want me to go, I'll go. But you must say so. I can't go on like this.
Pam, I'm too old for you.
Never. Wait. Here's where I'll be when you get back. I put a month's hold on it yesterday. When will you get back, do you know?
I'm telling this to you alone. We're heading out to fight one hell of a big battle. The odds are against us. Right now, I'm going over to Admiral Nemes's headquarters.
I love you, Victor. I'll never change. When you come back, and you will, I'll be here.
Rout of British and Chinese ground forces in Burma. General Joseph Stilwell, the American commander of Chiang Kai-shek's Chinese armies, said from Impal, India this morning, after a 140-mile retreat through the Burmese jungle, we've taken a hell of a beating. On the other side of the world, in Cairo, the British command reports heavy German bombings in the British back area.
Appetite's fine this morning, Captain?
Food's fine. A lot better than that war news.
Lieutenant? Hi, Dad. Too busy for me, say so.
Not at all. Just catching up on the news.
Back Red Army defenders in the Kharkov area. Kremlin sources fear that as many as 200,000 Soviet troops may have been killed or captured. Closer to home, Axis
Turn that off, will you?
submarines have sunk 6 more ships and waters on this Sunday.
You ever get to Kharkov, Dad?
No, the Germans held it when I was in Moscow. How about having something to eat?
No, thanks. Janice just gave me the royal send-off, steak and eggs for breakfast.
Brian get away all right?
Oh, he's in San Francisco by now. With a historic hangover, no doubt. Dad, it's Midway, isn't it? And the whole damn Jap fleet?
Where'd you hear that?
Guy in Halsey's staff.
I'm sorry to hear that Halsey's staff is a thief.
What about this Admiral Spruance? You've been steaming around with him for months.
What about him?
Battleship man, isn't he? War college type, not even qualified in aviation like Halsey. You can't shoot off dive bombers like 16-inch shells. They have to turn around and come back. Admirals seem to have no end of trouble remembering that.
Admiral Spruance will remember.
Glad to hear you say that.
Look, it's 0814 now. I'm underway, 0900. You want me to send you back to Fort Island on my gig?
A minute. Got this, just a little financial dope. I was gonna give it to Byron, but he's gone. Janice is a smart girl, but arithmetic throws her for a loop. Look, Dad, when I'm coming back from the strike, I'll make a pass over the Northampton and waggle my wings. If I don't, it won't mean anything. I may be in formation or out of gas or something, but I'll try and do it.
I understand perfectly. It'll be fine, though I won't count on it.
I missed Mom and Madeline at that party last night.
There'll be more family reunions, Warren.
worry. I'm gonna do all right.
I know you are, son. Good hunting.
Request permission to leave the ship, sir.
Permission granted, sir.
June 3rd, 1942, 1800 hours. And the whole might of the Japanese combined fleet is rapidly closing on Midway Island. But the capture of the 2,000-acre patch of Pacific coral and sand is not their only mission. Perhaps even more important is their plan to lure out and annihilate the remnants of the severely weakened U.S. Pacific Fleet. In overall tactical command is Japan's most brilliant naval strategist, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, with 11 of the mightiest battleships afloat. Spearheading the attack, 300 miles closer to Midway, is the carrier strike force, with its 4 battle-seasoned fleet carriers. In command aboard flagship Akagi is Vice Admiral Chuichi Nagumo. Latest intelligence from Tokyo assures him that there is still no evidence of an enemy task force anywhere in the vicinity. Secure in that belief, he will launch his attack as dawn breaks on the morning of the 4th. And so, heavily outnumbered, 28 United States warships to the Japanese 88. With their only chance of victory, total surprise, the United States fleet lies in ambush, some 325 miles northeast of Midway, awaiting the hour of battle.
It's gonna be a long night for all our pilots over there.
It's gonna be a longer day tomorrow.
Join the Moonlight Warrant. Commander McCluskey.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. You know what I was just thinking? There's no place I'd rather be right now than right here. Getting ready to fly against the Japs tomorrow.
Concur.
I'll ask a silly question.
Damn. That's got to be the biggest show on Earth. Hey, look. Flight 92 reporting. Enemy carriers. 2 carriers, 2 battleships. Bearing from Midway, 320 degrees. Distance, 180 miles. Course, 135 degrees. Speed, 25 knots. Dog love.
Oh, God love that thing.
Got him in our crosshairs, Admiral.
I'll make it 175 miles. Launch the attack, please, Captain.
Well, we've received no orders from Admiral Fletcher to launch planes.
We will. Let's get moving, Captain.
Admiral.
Yes.
Sir, that's an absolute outside range for our torpedo bombers. The plain fact is, sir, they won't get back.
Very well. Let's put out a new fleet course, Captain. Closing with the enemy at full speed. In the meantime, the Enterprise and the Hornet will make all preparations to launch.
Aye, sir.
Thank you, Commander.
Yes, sir.
Eugene E. Lindsay, Commander, Torpedo 6.
Well, it won't be too much longer now. Under 170 miles.
I figure we'll close to 130. That's still pretty tight for our group, but this is for keeps. We got to get the drop on the little bastards. They'll just get us to 130.
Let's hope so.
Admiral? Yes. Oh, thank you. Gentlemen, Midway is under attack. Present range to target, Commander.
I'll call it 153 miles, sir.
Launch planes, Captain.
Sir, still extreme range for our torpedo squadrons.
I know that, but it is absolutely vital that we hit them with that first surprise blow and with everything we've got. Unfortunately, that calls for the ultimate risk. But it is exactly what we must do.
What about their other carriers, sir? We still don't know where they are.
No. But Midway is reporting very heavy air attack. So I'm gambling that that sighting report was wrong. And that Jap carriers are all there to get them.
Flag shelter. Launch aircraft.
God help those brave young men.
Good luck, Gene. Give him hell.
Good hunting, Warren.
Might as well relax, Cornet. It'll be a while before the rest are up.
The first Japanese strike on Midway Island has ended, and the American garrison has been hit hard. Only the bombers and torpedo planes which scrambled before the attack, and the Midway airstrip itself, survived the pounding. It is for this reason that the returning Japanese attack squadrons radio ahead that there is a need for a second strike. A tough decision. Nagumo already has a group of torpedo planes on deck, armed and ready to torpedo any American warships that may surprise him. They will now have to be rearmed with bombs to hit land targets. But his intelligence still reports no American vessels in the area. So Nagumo decides, remove all torpedoes, rearm with bombs for the second strike on Midway. It is a decision on which the entire battle will turn.
What do you think they're doing down there, Mr. Henry? You reckon them fighters and torpedo planes will ever get airborne? When are we going after them Japs?
We all go together, Cornet. Coordinated attack, remember?
These launchings are going pretty slow, Captain.
Those dive bombers up there have almost burned up an hour's fuel.
Bearing at starboard quarter. Bearing 165. Range 6 miles.
Flash the Enterprise, Jim. Urgent. Sighted enemy cruiser scout plane.
Aye, aye, sir.
Admiral of Northampton signaled she spotted a Japanese search plane.
Radar confirms the bogey, Admiral. We're picking up strong voice transmissions in Japanese. He's sending a sighting report, that's for sure.
I see. Obviously, our edge of surprise is rapidly melting away. How long before those fighters are airborne, Mr. Burriker?
We're having a problem with elevator number 3.
No further contact with Admiral Fletcher yet?
No, sir. The Yorktown is still below the horizon.
Meanwhile, as Nagumo continues to rearm for the second strike, a scout plane sighting report is delivered. 10 enemy ships, some 200 miles to the east, heading southeast, appear to be accompanied by 1 aircraft carrier. And so with a carrier threat to his flank, a second strike against Midway is suddenly out of the question. The moment of ultimate decision has arrived. Shall Nagumo wait for his returning planes to launch an all-out coordinated attack against the American carrier? Or shall he strike at once with what he has? It is at this moment that the Midway strike planes begin to arrive. Low on fuel, some shot up and in distress, demanding to land on the cluttered carrier decks. He makes his decision. Clear all carrier decks. Recover, refuel, and rearm all planes from Midway. Close the enemy at full speed and hit him in a coordinated attack with all-massed air might. But all this will take time. Precious time that will prove crucial to the eventual outcome of the battle.
Turned into the wind this way, we're rapidly moving away from the enemy. Wouldn't you agree, Captain Browning?
Yes, sir.
Send the dive bombers on their way.
Without fighter cover, sir?
Without fighter cover. We can no longer afford the luxury of this leisurely launch. We have to forget any hopes of a coordinated attack. Squadrons will proceed to the target as and when airborne.
Signal Commander McCluskey to attack the enemy carriers immediately.
This is flag shelter. Release orbiting aircraft for strike. McCluskey's gonna need all of the help he can get.
So will he.
far. Sitting way down there. And here I go.
Oh, 9-12 hours. As the Enterprise dive bombers reach the intercept point, they find no trace of the enemy.
Where in hell are the Japs, Mr. Henry?
I don't know. Sure hope the Hornet and Yorktown are doing better than we are.
And although the Yorktown has finally launched, she has sent up only half her planes. The Hornet dive bombers and fighters are already out of it. Low on fuel, they have turned back and are heading home. Many will splash in the sea with empty fuel tanks. But there is still one wild card remaining in this all but played out game. The 3 slow American torpedo squadrons, operating separately in a random and quite unplanned way. They are the ones who will finally find the enemy. First to come upon Nagumo's strike force are the 15 Devastator torpedo bombers from the Hornet, almost immediately followed by the 2 squadrons from the Enterprise and the Yorktown.
Cornet! Looks like we finally found something. The Jap destroyer. What do you figure we're doing? I figure we're following him.
The battle of the torpedo squadrons is almost over. Without fighter escort, the slow-moving torpedo planes are easy prey. Not one American torpedo will find a Japanese ship. And in less than 40 minutes of actual combat time, 35 of the 41 attacking planes will be lost. And 68 courageous young flyers, including Eugene E. Lindsay, Commander, Torpedo 6.
Okay, 1 squadron
6, that second one is your baby. Look good, Ed. Here we go.
10:25 hours. The Enterprise dive bombers attacked the Akagi. Then moments later, the Yorktown dive bombers, launching a whole hour after the Enterprise, hit the Soryu. It is a perfectly coordinated attack. It is a freak accident. What was not an accident was the willingness of the torpedo plane squadrons to go in against hopeless odds, thereby clearing the skies of Zeros for the dive bombers. The extra ounce of martial weight that in the next few decisive minutes will tip the balance of history. The annals of military conflict show no equal to the world historical 5 minutes of Midway. Between 10:25 hours and 10:30 hours, on this fateful morning of June 4th, 1942, 3 Japanese carriers with their full complements of aircraft are reduced to smoking flotsam. These 5 explosive minutes, Japan's world status is shattered. Though she will have to suffer 3 more years of defeat and final atomic blast horror before she will accept this fact.
me.
Now hear this. Stand by to launch fighters. Repeat, stand by to launch fighters.
We better get below. Looks like we got company. Right, Mr. Henry?
Going, man. The action. Fire control reports a mess of bogies heading for the Yorktown, Lieutenant. Out there, past the Hornet.
Yorktown reports 3 bomb hits. Heavy damage below decks.
All gun crews, attention. Planes approaching on the port quarter are friendly. They're returning Yorktown aircraft low on fuel and requesting emergency landing. The Yorktown has been hit. Stand by to take planes on board.
Warren! It was a hell of a shot, Warren. Listen, everybody's having arguments in here about what exactly happened out there. But there's no doubt that you take the credit for that biggest flat top. Everybody who made it back saw it.
How many didn't make it back?
10 of our squadron unaccounted for so far. Hey, some of those guys could be floating in the drink, though, right? Klusky made it back. Shut up. Made it back.
Yeah, I heard.
Looks like Gallagher's going to be taking over.
Henry, one of them air ops on the double. I'll debrief you when you get back.
Henry, this is Shumway, Yorktown's bomber squadron exec.
Henry?
Shumway? Shumway's just itching to get at that 4th Jap carrier.
Yeah, I want to get the son of a bitch that plastered the Yorktown.
And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Search planes are out looking for it right now. You heard about McCluskey. Something else. My exec is missing. Instant promotion, Henry. You're next in line. You're it.
Yes, sir.
I want you to scratch together a bombing squadron at once. What's left of bombing 6, scouting 6, and the rest of the guys from the Yorktown. Shumway here will be your operations officer. Yorktown's damage control people are doing one hell of a job. But right now, hell, it's up to us.
Commander Gallagher, Captain Browning wants to see you up on Admiral Spruance's flag shelter right away.
Right. All right, you guys, get to work. I want to see an attack plan when I get back from Black Country. Warren, great hit you got.
Thank you, sir.
1300 hours, the Japanese strike the Yorktown again. This time, 2 more squadrons from their last remaining carrier, the Erie.
Okay, let's settle down. Everybody take a seat. Captain of the Yorktown has given the order to abandon ship. Admiral Fletcher is transferring his flag to the Astoria. That's the bad news. The good news is the Yorktown search planes have spotted the 4th Jap carrier. And the attack is on. We've got a chance to give it right back to the bastards. And we're mostly new to each other here. I've heard a lot of arguments about who got hits on those carriers this morning and who didn't. I don't want to hear any more of it. It's our tails if we don't operate together, like old buddies. So if you have a problem, save it for the Japs. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Shumway will give you the attack plan.
Okay. This time out, there'll be no torpedo planes or fighters to wait for.
Sounds like they got her, sir. I'd say we won the first round of this fight.
640 miles northwest of the American carrier force. With the only Japanese warships that still remain undetected, Fleet Admiral Yamamoto's mighty battle line has been smashing grimly eastward since mid-afternoon in hopes of counter-ambushing and annihilating the remaining American naval forces. But his desperate gambit depends on one thing: the American fleet steaming westward in hot pursuit of the wounded Japanese carrier force. Westward into Yamamoto's trap.
Wait till you hear this, here. Gentlemen, let's relax GQ here in Flag Shelter.
Admiral, from Admiral Fletcher on the Astoria.
Read it, please.
I have no instructions for you. I will conform to your movements.
Very well.
Probably figures he can't fight the battle from a cruiser.
Captain, after we recover all our aircraft, we will retire eastward.
Retire, Admiral?
Yes, retire, Captain. Put me someplace where I can deal with the enemy in the morning if he's still threatening Midway.
Yes, sir.
What's wrong, Captain? We just received orders to retreat.
What?
Retreat. Retreat from a beaten foe.
And so the United States fleet will turn eastward, away from the powerful advancing Japanese force. Then, as 3 a.m. passes, and there is still no sign of the enemy, though unable to believe that the Americans have not come out in pursuit, Yamamoto must now reluctantly turn back. His only hope remaining, that with daybreak, the enemy will finally come out in pursuit.
Hey, Pete, what you doing up?
Couldn't sleep.
Me either. Any of the other guys around?
Nobody's gonna sleep too well tonight, let me tell you. The guys are down in the wardroom, they're chowing down.
No news?
News is we got a gutless admiral. News is we're retreating, didn't you hear?
What are you talking about?
You didn't hear? All hell's broken loose up in flag country. Word in the wardroom is that Spruance could get court-martials for this.
What's his reason? He must have some reason.
Reason is he has no stomach for a fight. That's his reason. The staff could hardly get him to launch today. Word is, if Browning wasn't around, we'd still be sitting on that deck. We wouldn't have made that first strike ourselves. The Japanese would have creamed us, Warren. Why? Why did Halsey have to come down with the crud? Will you tell me that, please?
Look, we did get 4 of their carriers. Maybe he wants to quit while he's ahead. You know, that's not bad poker.
Listen, the guy is blowing our chances of destroying the Japanese fleet. You know that, Warren.
Pete. Maybe tomorrow the Japs will still want to take on Midway. Then we'll have another big day. Best thing you can do right now is get some sack time. Hey, let the brass worry about these things, where we're going and why. Come on. We'll head down to the wardroom. See if those chow hounds left anything behind.
Hey, Warren. Tell me, what it feel like when you dropped that bomb down there? I mean, I missed 2 today by a country mile.
It's a great feeling. Absolutely great. Nothing like it. But I'll tell you something. That long flight back, I got to thinking about those Japs burning up. Planes going up like firecrackers, everybody drowning. Thought to myself, we get paid to do some damn strange things in this Navy. I'll see you later.
I knew no attack orders yet. This is like peacetime steaming. Okay. If I hang for it, I'm gonna have it out with him.
Admiral. Captain?
May I say something, sir?
Certainly.
Sir, I feel I must point out that our aviators have been up since 3 a.m. and in their ready rooms since 10 a.m. Yet no air operations are scheduled. We're not even in full pursuit.
I am aware of that, Captain. But do you have a suggestion?
The staff recommends an urgent launch of a search and destroy mission, Admiral, while there's enough daylight left for combat.
Well, where would we send them? I still have no clear idea where the enemy headed last night.
We've had contact reports all morning from the Midway search planes.
Very dubious reports. They jump all over the chart. And I still don't have confirmation that those Jap carriers we damaged are sunk.
Sir, our boys are losing their fighting edge. It was bad enough last night when we had the enemy on the run and we turned in the opposite direction. That's a hard maneuver for young fighting men to understand.
Captain, would you mind stepping out on the bridge with me, please?
Aye, sir.
I thank you for your opinion, Captain. But this force is not going to leave Midway unguarded until I know the Japanese are out of airstrike range of that island. I'm not going to conduct any air operation until I have hard knowledge of where the enemy is. I'm not going to take any unnecessary risk with any more of my surviving aircraft or my surviving pilots.
May I speak candidly, Admiral?
Why not?
Admiral Halsey doesn't operate this way. He acts on staff recommendations.
That may be. But then Bill Halsey wasn't out there yesterday. Captain, when St. Pac approved me as replacement for Admiral Halsey, I assumed that his staff would be competent, that you would conduct combat operations with reasonable skill.
I don't think I understand the implication, Admiral.
Well, I'll spell it out for you then. Perhaps you've forgotten in the fine flush of our good fortune that yesterday's operations began with a bungled first launch. They were further complicated by wrong estimates of the enemy's movements and by gross miscalculation of our aircraft recovery point. My God, fuel exhaustion splashed more of our aircraft than the Japanese did. And because of that bungled first launch, I had to send out 3 torpedo squadrons unescorted to be slaughtered. Those were staff's contributions to victory.
Admiral Spruance, we still left 4 Jap carriers dead in the water and burning.
Only because of the heroism of our aviators. And let's not try to take credit for their valor. No, Captain. Whatever we accomplished out there yesterday was in spite of staff. And by anybody's standards has to be attributed to sheer luck.
My point, Admiral, is that sunsets do not wait. If we don't launch soon, a whole day will have passed without this force having taken one aggressive action. And that may take some explaining, Admiral, back at Pearl Harbor, not to mention Washington.
It may indeed, Captain, and that is my responsibility.
Pardon me, sir. This just came in from Midway.
Thank you, Commander. It's Bomber's report. The Japanese are out of airstrike range of Midway. They're retreating westerly, escorting a smoking carrier. Now I have a hard target. You will prepare and execute an attack plan, Captain Browning.
Sit down, Warren. You had a chance to plot out that new attack plan, Warren?
Yes, sir, I have.
What do you think of it?
It's a plan for a swim meet.
You know Admiral Spruance, don't you?
My father does.
Well, that's good enough. I just talked to the captain of the ship. He'll run interference for us.
Come in.
Well, what have we here?
Miles, Commander McCluskey would like a word with you about the staff's attack plan.
Go ahead.
It'll splash every dive bomber left on the Enterprise, sir.
Don't be ridiculous. I okayed this plan myself.
I'm sorry, Captain, but the numbers just don't add up. Even with 500-pound bombs, the distance, the time, the fuel factors, they're totally out of whack. And this plan calls for 1,000-pound bombs. Not only that, but there's no margin for gas consumption in combat.
It's about enough, Commander.
Maybe it might be a good idea to have the staff recheck those numbers.
There's nothing to recheck, Captain Murray. This plan is in order. If your pilots will watch their fuel economy, try not to botch their navigation, there won't be any splashes.
Sir, with all due respect, I will not send my air group out under these orders, not even if it means a court-martial.
That's exactly what it will mean, Commander McCluskey.
Gentlemen.
What's the matter?
Insubordination, Admiral. McCluskey here refuses to obey a direct order.
It's a one-way mission, Admiral. With this plan, my aviators don't make it back. Not with the fuel and the distance factors.
He's right, Admiral.
You tell me, gentlemen, what is the meaning of this temerity? Don't you suppose the staff has worked out this plan with the utmost care? Mr. Henry.
Admiral, the staff isn't flying this mission.
That's an insubordinate response, mister. Don't you think your father in your place would carry out his orders? Would just jump in his plane and do as he's told?
Yes, sir, he would. But if asked as you're asking me, he'd mention you wouldn't see your aircraft again. Because you won't.
All right. I'll do what you pilots want.
What?
Commander McCluskey, would you call air operations, please? Let's have a revised plan.
Aye, Admiral.
Thank you, sir.
Captain?
Skipper on that Jack Destroyer knows what he's doing.
They couldn't find that crippled carrier. They should have come right on back.
All right, Spotter. Let's forget it. That's where it goes. Form up. Form up. We're running out of daylight. Let's get out of here.
I heard the boys were coming back.
Yes.
Admiral, those pilots haven't been trained in night landings.
So McCluskey informed me. Let's go to flag plot.
Pitch black in less than half an hour. Mr. Henry.
I know, Cornet.
Just how in the hell we ever gonna get back aboard, sir?
I don't know. Maybe when we get there, Admiral Spruance will pull us in with a big skyhook.
Flag bridge. Admiral, radar reports returning aircraft 2 miles out.
Thank you, Commander.
Sugar, we are at point option. Fuel levels critical. Urgently requested instructions. Repeat. Urgently requested instructions.
Admiral, their tanks have got to be about bone dry.
Admiral, we've got to turn on the lights.
Well, we have to assume that the Japanese have submarines about. As we illuminate, the last two carriers in the Pacific Fleet are lit up like Christmas trees.
Sir, we have a screen out there. If a son of a bitchin' sub has gotten through the screen, that's too bad. The boys have to land.
I agree, Captain. Illuminate at once.
Aye, aye, sir. Bill.
This is Flag Ridge. Admiral Spruance has ordered the fleet illuminated for recovering aircraft. Turn on all landing lights. Repeat. Turn on the lights.
Look at that! You ever seen anything so pretty in your life? We got light!
Go to General Quarters, Commander Grigg. Full submarine alert.
Very well, sir. Off to the deck. Make it so.
Quartermaster, sound General Quarters.
Don't want to leave those lights on too long.
That's the last of them, Admiral. Very well. Let's darken the ship, Captain.
Eyes.
Secure from General Quarters, Jim.
Aye, aye, sir.
Admiral Spruance?
Yes, Commander.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank Miles Browning.
June 6th, 0900 hours. With the Yorktown fatally crippled, his vessels low on fuel, his aviators exhausted, and an enemy of unknown but heavy strength lying somewhere beyond the horizon, Admiral Spruance will finally break off and end the battle.
Gentlemen, I think we've done about all the damage that we're going to do. Let's get out of here. Dismissed.
And so the Midway victory will be sealed. The Japanese expansion east is finally stopped. And Franklin Roosevelt will be able to continue his all-important Germany First doctrine, so crucial to the final conclusion of the war. Raymond Spruance, the quiet warrior, will go on to win many victories in command of ever vaster forces. Yet in history, like Nelson of Trafalgar, he will remain Spruance of Midway. But before this last day draws to a close, there will still be one more mission to fly.
Scout plane reports enemy ships severely damaged but still are underway. Looks like more target practice for Enterprise.
Division 3 and 4, you go after that lead cruiser. Divisions 1 and 2, follow me. We're going after that second one. Okay! Here we go!
Dearest Rhoda, by now you have the official word. I tried a couple of times to place a call to you, but it was probably for the best I didn't get through. It might have been painful for both of us. Our son made it through the worst of the battle only to be killed on the last day. He'll probably get a posthumous Navy Cross. Rear Admiral Spruance told me this. Spruance is a controlled person, but when he spoke of Warren, there were tears in his eyes. He said that Warren turned in a brilliant, heroic performance. Warren is dead. We will never see him again. We have Byron, we have Madeline, but Warren's gone, and there will never be another like him. He came to see me just before the battle. I can still see him standing, hand on the overhead, saying with that easy grin of his, "If you're too busy for me, say so." Too busy? God forgive me if I ever gave him that impression. There was no greater joy in my life than talking to Warren. In fact, just resting my eyes on him. I have just written my ship's battle report, 1 page long. We never fired a gun. We never saw an enemy vessel. Warren and a few hundred young men like him carried the brunt of a great and victorious battle. Somewhere a character in Shakespeare says, "We owe God a death." Few men in any armed force on any front will strike a harder blow for their country than Warren did. That's what he set out to do. His life was successful, fulfilled, and complete. I want to believe that. And in a way, I truly do. But, what Warren might have been. I'm a known quantity. There are 1,000 forest stripers like me, and one more or less doesn't matter that much. I've had my family. You might say I've had my life. Yes, Warren's gone. He won't have any fame. When the war's over, nobody will remember the ones who bore the heat of combat. They'll probably forget the names of the admirals, even of the battles that saved our country. I now feel that despite all the present discouraging news, we'll eventually win the war. The Japs can't recover from the shellacking we gave them at Midway, and Hitler can't lick the world by himself. Our son helped turn the tide. He was there when it mattered and where it mattered. He took his life in his hands, went in there and did his duty as a fighting man. I'm proud of him. I'll never lose that pride. He'll be in my last thoughts. Other things will have to wait for a different letter. God keep you well. Love, Bud.
Mom, here I am.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I got the most wonderful letter from your father. I must have read it 1,000 times. Have you heard from him?
No. Let's go. I've got Madeline's car.
Oh, you look so wonderful.
You look really pretty, Mom.
Oh, what does it matter how I look? Oh, it's so hot here. I haven't had a proper bath in 3 days, Byron. I feel absolutely slimy.
Same old Mom. Mwah.
Well, tell me, dear, what's the news from Natalie?
It's from that fellow Sloat. They're still interned in Siena. I may have to go to Switzerland.
Switzerland? But Byron, how can you? In wartime and you under orders.
It's not easy, but it's possible. I can cross unoccupied France by train, or I can fly to Zurich from Lisbon. Once I finish that torpedo course in San Diego, I've got 30 days leave coming.
Even so, Byron, once there, then what?
I don't know. Look, nobody else is doing anything. I just have to go there and see what I can do myself. All right?
Wasn't that Errol Flynn?
That it was, ma'am. He's having a hell of a war, isn't he, sir?
Yeah. Hell of a war. You can just put him over here, thanks.
Yes. Before I do anything else, I must shower. I mean, this very second.
Where's Dad's letter?
You want to read it right now?
Yeah.
Isn't it a beautiful letter? I'm saving it. I'm saving everything. The telegram, the letter from the Secretary of the Navy, the newspaper write-ups, invitation from the Gold Star mothers. I'm saving it all. I'm going to put it in a... Oh, to hell with this here. I don't care anyhow.
Mother.
Madeline. Oh, Madeline. Oh.
Oh. I'm so glad you're here. But why aren't you ready?
Ready for what?
The party? The fundraiser for Second Front Now? You didn't tell her.
I forgot.
I'm only organizing the whole thing.
Madeline, I'm completely confused. Aren't you still working for Hugh Cleveland?
Hugh Cleveland is the chairman of the committee. Oh. That's how I got involved. Mother, it's going to be a great party. I'm going to make great contacts. I don't want to be Hugh's little sandwich fetcher forever.
Well, there's some good news.
Mother, why don't you get dressed? Because Hugh's picking us up in his limousine.
Oh, darling, I'm not going to know anybody there, and I'm tired. I have nothing to wear.
Stop it, Mother. Both of you are coming. Besides, you do too know somebody. Alistair Tudsbury. He and his daughter are both going to be there.
Alistair Tudsbury?
Mm-hmm. They were passing through from Hawaii, and they stayed by just to see you.
Well, I wore the black suit to death on the train, but I suppose I could have it pressed.
Good, Mother. Get dressed, and I'm going to make some calls.
Well, I don't suppose anybody will notice me anyway. I'll just pretend to be somebody's poor aunt from Dubuque.
Lenny, hi, sweetie, it's Maddie. Yeah, I know, I called everybody. I'm so excited. Mom's going to be there, Bryony's going to be there, too, if he gets in a better mood. No, I can't wait, and I did call everybody. I called Robert, and I called Patricia.
Hi, baby, how are you? I got a script play. I'll call you on Monday. Mary Lou. You?
Maddie. I want you to meet a few people here. Maddie's mother, Rhonda Henry.
Rhoda Henry.
Rhoda, how are you? Welcome to Hollywood.
War hero's son, Byron.
Byron. Watch out for you. There's a lot of nice girls in there.
Come on,
Have a
Mary.
good time. Drinks, everything. Coop is there.
Huey, I never get over this house. It's so beautiful, isn't it, Mom?
It's all so exciting.
Harry Tomlin's Hugh's agent. He's only one of the biggest in Hollywood.
10% of my heart's blood's in this place. It ought to be nice. Oh, look at here. Hey, Mom, Tudsbury's in there.
You print that and you won't wake in the morning.
Oh, Father, look who it is.
Oh, good heavens. It's Rhoda Henry and young Byron.
Mr. Tudsbury.
Mrs. Henry.
Pamela, how nice to see you.
Good evening, Byron.
Pam.
Rhoda, I met your son Warren in Hawaii. A very special young man. I was deeply saddened to hear of his death.
That's very considerate of you, Mr. Tudsbury.
Well, now, when did we three last set eyes on each other? Berlin, wasn't it? 1939?
Yes, and remember we sailed on the Bremen together
Yes.
at his birthday.
And the captain's wife.
I
Couldn't
know.
exactly say.
Oh, I just love this music.
She loves the music.
She's my mom, and I love her.
Well, I think it's about time that everybody faced up to the fact that there's not going to be a second front in Europe this year.
Oh, really? And why is that?
Churchill!
Oh, come now. You know as well as I do. Only a trickle of green American troops have yet reached Britain. A cross-channel attack would be a futile slaughter.
Oh, come on, Al. Oh, sure, that's the standard line, but everybody knows the real truth. Winnie hates the Bolsheviks and wants to hold back. And let Stalin bleed himself white fighting Hitler alone.
Everyone knows that? I don't know any of that. How do you know that?
Hey, read your newspapers, Admiral. Why do you think I'm chairing this little shindig? To put the pressure on, to get something done.
No, you listen to me, Huey. You want to do something useful with your time. Put on a benefit for the Jews in Europe. I mean, that might do some real good, huh? Show the world somebody cares about what's going on.
Wait a minute, Admiral. Just one damn minute. You're not accusing me of being an anti-Semite, are you?
Come now, Mr. Cleveland. Byron meant no such thing.
Well, I certainly hope not. I'm in show business, for crying out loud. I like Jews. Some of my best friends are Jews.
I got a little problem with the program. Hate to pull you away from your famous friend, but...
You're forgiven.
Whatever it is, Harry, it's taken care of. You folks will excuse us? Come on, Maddie.
Was that fun, Byron?
Well done, Baron. You put that horse's ass just where he belongs. Didn't he, Pamela?
You most certainly did, Talkie.
Pamela, get me a large brandy for my nerves.
Mrs. Henry?
Yes?
Do you think we could have breakfast tomorrow morning? Just the two of us?
Well, I suppose so.
Good.
My daughter's arranged for a tour through 20th Century Fox this morning. Would you like to come along? She says we might even be able to get to see Humphrey Bogart. Can you imagine?
I'm sorry. I've got to finish tonight's broadcast and get it Talkie by 11.
You mean you actually wrote it?
Oh, yes. I help him when he's indisposed. He manages better in London. We'd be there now, but Madeline told me you were coming west, and I did so desperately want to talk to you.
Really? What about?
About your husband. I love him. I know you asked him for a divorce, and he asked you to reconsider.
I have reconsidered. Long since. That's all over with. How did you know all this?
He confided in me.
He confided in you? Miss Dudsbury, are you having an affair with my husband?
No. No, Mrs. Henry, he's remained faithful to you. Worse luck.
Indeed. You're very pretty.
He's been an ass. It would have been heaven. And what's more, honors would now be even between you two.
Isn't my husband much too old for you?
Mrs. Henry, your husband is the most attractive man I've ever met. In every way, including his loyalty to you. Unfortunately, it was that loyalty which defeated me.
Did you see him after Midway?
Yes, I saw a lot of him. And all through his agony, all he did was think about you, how you were taking it, how he could console you. He even considered asking for emergency leave. He packed me off. Oh, I tried to stay. Mrs. Henry, he's a family man to the bone. If you can get to Hawaii, why don't you? He needs you. If there was ever a chance for me, the death of your son has ended it. I can't understand you. How could you risk losing him? You have a well-wisher, you know. Victor has received several letters about you and a man.
Oh, my God. What do they say?
Guess. Look, I'm sorry to hurt you in your bereavement, but I don't want you to hurt him any more. This is a bizarre conversation, isn't it? A wartime conversation. You know, I met Warren only once in Hawaii, just before the battle. He had a strange light about him. It wasn't my imagination. My father saw it too. You've had an appalling loss, but you still have two wonderful children. If you and Victor console each other, perhaps in time you will be happy again. Thank you for seeing me, Mrs. Henry.
Miss Dudsbury. You promised never to see my husband again.
I can't do that. That's impossible. But I am out of your way for now. Rest assured of that.
Early June 1942, Hitler's Case Blue offensive smashes deep into Russia's vitals. At Kharkov, Sevastopol, and all along the Don, the Red Army fades away before this astounding new show of German power. Meanwhile, in North Africa, Field Marshal Erwin Rommel's brilliant armored offensive sends the British reeling in headlong retreat eastward across Libya into Egypt. On June 21st, the fortress seaport Tobruk falls. And by July, Rommel has thrown the British back to El Alamein, threatening to link up with the German columns driving southward through the Soviet Union. Although President Roosevelt is acutely aware of Soviet Premier Stalin's increasingly strident demands for a second front in Europe, he recognizes the British view that a successful Allied landing in Europe in 1942 is impossible. But to keep faith with the beleaguered Soviet people, he tells his closest advisors,
"Gentlemen, United States forces must fight Germans somewhere in 1942.
I agree, Mr. President.
And toward that end, in late July, the President dispatches a special mission to London for urgent meetings with Winston Churchill and the British Chiefs of Staff.
We have arrived, gentlemen, at an historic moment. I thank our American friends for their forbearance and understanding. So, North Africa it is to be, and the recovery in the West of the initiative, the golden fleece of war. Previous code names for this operation have all been cancelled, and the final code name for the landings of our combined forces in North Africa will now be Torch. And, gentlemen, on or before October the 30th, the torch shall be lit.
There is, Prime Minister, still the matter of our Russian friends.
Indeed. But now I must do as I promised your president. I shall leave at once for Moscow, and there I will tell Joe Stalin
face to face, that there will be no second front in France in 1942.
A Jew's Journey, July the 25th, Siena, Italy. Our last day in my beloved villa, for today we embark on our perilous flight to freedom. It has been over a month since that fateful decision was made, a trying month in which Werner Beck has grown increasingly more difficult. Assuring him that if I were allowed a respite from the intense summer heat, it would greatly speed my completion of the Rome radio scripts, he hastily agreed to a short seaside holiday. Hence, today we leave with the Castelnuovos for their beach house in Follonica. Once there, the plan is to wait for Rabinovit's signal to depart the mainland for the island of Elba. From there, on to French Corsica, where the underground will arrange to have us taken aboard a freighter and carried to Lisbon, our gateway to America. The car will be here soon, Natalie.
Thank you, Aaron. We'll be ready soon.
Of everything I must leave behind, I shall miss my library most. There is something personal and alive for me in this room. The authors are all my friends and colleagues, though some of them crumbled to dust 15 centuries ago. They speak to me. I shall miss them. For my part, if the worst comes to the worst, Natalie will learn that I am not altogether a woolly-headed professor. Like Hamlet, when the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw. In a desperate emergency, there are always the diamonds. We have learned that old Sacerdote and his wife will only be accompanying us to the bus station. Age and the prospect of abandoning the fruits of a lifetime to the fascisti proved too much for the old couple. To further legitimize our deception, Natalie has given the servants orders for work to be completed on our return in 2 weeks. But the servants are wise. They will not be fooled. So, in cold fact, a Jew's journey begins.